freaking comfy does she look. I want her life. I actually want her life. You know what? I'm going to try it out. Hey everyone, Live It Like Lisa here. Welcome to another day of Vlogmas. I have my favoritist Christmas shirt on today. It's my, what does it actually say? Christmas crew. Why can't I say that? Christmas crew t-shirt on today. I think they call it bringer style t-shirts. Love these. If I can find any more blank ones of these, I'm going to snap them up and create some t-shirts because, yeah, I just love that style. So, I want to do a bit of tie-dyeing today. I've got my white t-shirt set up. I've got my big plastic sheet on my table. I've got all my tie-dye stuff here. We've got some instructions on how to do different patterns in the tie-dye. Let's do something a bit fun and creative today and see if I can add a few more pieces to my wardrobe. Okay, so for the first one, we're going to do the traditional twist and rubber band in a pizza pie kind of style. And yeah, we're just going to tie-dye each segment a different color, blue and green, and hope it all turns out. So yeah, I'm just using, some of these colors were a little bit light and some of them put a weird sort of bleached look on them, so I don't know what it's going to turn out like once it's all done. But yeah, I think I ended up going over it with some darker purple as well, because some of the blues were just way too light. It wasn't even registering that they were coloring the t-shirt. So yeah, so this is the twist, and this should give us like a spiral effect when we open it all up, I hope, if it's all done correctly and it all turns out. So next we are going to do a Christmas inspired kind of t-shirt. So I'm going to create like little, I don't know, you can see what I'm doing. What am I doing? Creating like little knobs on the t-shirt and wrapping a rubber band around each one. And I do that over the whole t-shirt. And then we're going to dye each of the little knobs in bright red. And then my intention is to then, I want to dye the collar of it like dark red. And then I want to try and dye the rest of the t-shirt in like a lighter, pinkier red. So I was doing it in this method first, but I realized I wasn't going to have enough actual dye to do that. So what I did is I mixed a bit of the extra red, what I'm using now, in with the pink and added some water and then put it in a Ziploc bag with like a heap of water as well. And I think that is going to give me the solid red that I'm after, because yeah, it definitely wasn't working this way. It just basically looked like blood splatter at this stage. So yeah, I put it in a Ziploc bag, put in all the rest of the pinkier red, and then added some water. And I'm hoping the dark red will still be darker than the pinkier red, if that all makes sense. We'll see. It'll be an experiment. We'll see when it turns out. This next method, I'm just scrunching up the t-shirt and just squirting on some tie-dye, as you can see here, in all the blues and greens. I think this might create more like a marbled sort of look. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I turned it over and done the same. All right, so we've got a few experiments going, and we'll have to leave them overnight and see how they turned out. So this one, I basically just wanted to dye it red, so I haven't done anything exceptional with that. I've just put some red tie-dye in there with a bit of water just to yeah, soak it through red. This one, we've got a bit of like blue, green, purple marbling. Once this one's done, I then want to go over it with some purple tie-dye, so we'll see how that turns out. That's the Christmassy kind of one I'm hoping will turn out, with the little red dots all over it and the pink shirt. So we'll see how they all turn out tomorrow, and I'll give them a wash. And yeah, hopefully I'll have a couple of new additions to my wardrobe, and hopefully they won't turn out to be a total disaster. I changed my shirt because I didn't trust myself doing tie-dye in my favorite Christmas shirt. So yeah, I'm just going to clean all this mess up now, and then there's a couple of questions that you guys have been leaving in the last few videos that didn't make the Q&A. Like, I'd already recorded the Q&A prior to those questions, so I will answer those in this video as well. So I don't know if you've noticed, I'm kind of about 2 days in front of Vlogmas. So like today, while I'm filming, is the actual 8th of December, but when you see this, it'll actually be for the 10th. So I'm about 2 days ahead, and I only did that just to give myself a little bit of grace in case I was a bit busy and couldn't get the upload on time. So yeah, you may have noticed it might not be, the days might not be lining up with my weekends and my days off and things like that. I know one person noticed, Mel. She noticed because I mean, she's doing Vlogmas as well, so I think she understands. But yeah, I started Vlogmas 2 days. I started filming 2 days prior. Actually, it was 3 days prior to Vlogmas starting. And because I'd already missed one day, I was just exhausted and couldn't film that day. Now I'm only 2 days ahead. So yeah, but as we get closer to Christmas, I'll probably have to be filming on the day, editing on the day, and uploading on the day. So I'm hoping I can get as far as I can, being a little bit ahead, just to get, you know, take a little bit of stress off me. I hope you guys don't mind. I mean, you're still getting content every day. I'm still doing something different every day, but yeah, you'll probably just notice the days don't quite line up. But that's the magic of YouTube. All right, well, I've cleaned up all the tie-dye stuff. It's yeah, we're gonna have to wait a couple of days before we see the results of that. Maybe tomorrow, before I actually wash them, I might just like open them up and show you, just so you can get an idea of what they're gonna look like. And then once they're all washed and dry, I'll show you the result in a couple of days. So today, what I thought I would do is just quickly go through some of the questions that were missed on the Q&A. So I'm just going to go straight from my comments. So I'll just scroll down and see when I can find one. Okay, so from Ma Stir, she has, I'm assuming it's a she. I can't imagine guys watching my channel, but maybe there are, I don't know. So first question from Ma Stir. They have asked, do you have extended family? And what are Jesse's plans for the new year? And is that Jesse's boyfriend in this video? So first question, do we have extended family? Not a lot that I know myself. So for me personally, I'm an only child, so I don't have any brothers and sisters. Michael's only got one brother who lives in Sydney, and we don't actually see them very often. Just, I mean, they're busy working and we're busy working and all of that. So yeah, we don't see each other often, but Michael's brother's got 2 kids, a little bit younger than my 2. So yeah, the kids have got 2 cousins. Now, my family, as far as my cousins and things like that go, I've got hundreds and hundreds. My mum and dad each were from a family of 5 and 6, and then all of their all the kids from their families each had 5 or 6 kids. So my family is actually massive. I've just never met any of them because, like I said before, we came to Australia when I was 4. All of my grandparents had died before I was even born, so I didn't know any of my grandparents. and yeah, all of my cousins and everything like that. I only really know 2 that are in England, but yeah, the rest I would have no idea, but I know there's hundreds of them. But yeah, so we don't really have any extended family, and we don't really have any friends as such. Like, I mean, I've got a lot of work friends, and I've got a lot of like online friends, but we don't have any friends that we actually see on the weekends or anything like that. We're just not really social people. Like, we're so busy doing our own thing that yeah, we don't really see people. Like, I don't really have any friends as such, and I'm fine with that. Like, it doesn't bother me. It's not something like I crave or anything. Like I said, I'm an only child, so I'm used to my own company. I enjoy my own company. I've got my family around me. Like, that's all I really need. So yeah, that was a long a long answer to a short question. What are Jessie's plans for the new year? I honestly have no idea. I have a feeling she may go down and see her boyfriend for the new year, but I really don't know. We haven't even thought that far ahead yet. And the next question was, is that Jessie's boyfriend in the video? No, that was just one of her school friends. They actually met up when we went down to the market, the little community market that we had. He was down there, and yeah, they just were just hanging out that day. So no, that wasn't her boyfriend. From Caroline Hannaberry. I'm really sorry if I don't pronounce these right. I'm not good with names. Caroline asked, would you have another puppy, or is it too soon to say? I did answer this in the Q&A. Look, Michael would have got another puppy the very next day. Like, he just really, I think he just likes having dogs. For me, it's too raw. Yeah, I still miss them too much. I don't want anything to replace them. Honestly, I don't really want any more animals, but yeah, I'm never gonna say never, but I just miss our too much. Like, even, oh God, I'm not gonna cry. No. So answer, yeah, no, not at this stage. Okay, next question from Michelle Ulmer. How did you meet your husband, and how old were you when you married? She's got a few questions, so I'll answer that first. So, a bit of a weird story. I was actually about 12 or 13 when I met Michael, and he was actually my karate instructor. I know it sounds scandalous, but yeah, I started karate when I was I must have been about 13, I think, because I was just in high school. He was the instructor. He was about 6 years older than me, so he would have been about 19, I guess, when he was teaching. And my first impressions of him was that I was absolutely terrified, because if you've seen Michael, you may have noticed he doesn't have the friendliest looking resting face. It's quite terrifying for a 13-year-old innocent little girl, and I almost nearly didn't join up because I was just so terrified of the way he looked, because he was always like, big stern frown on his face. He, didn't really have a happy, smiley, welcoming face. So yeah, I was quite terrified of him when I first started. After a couple of years, I think I was about 15 when we started going out, just shy of my 16th birthday. And yeah, we just I guess we just grew to be friends, and yeah, something grew from there, I guess. It seems a bit weird talking about it now, that like I was only 15 and he was 21, and I was an innocent 15-year-old. Like, I had never had a boyfriend. I mean, I was basically still playing with my Barbies on the weekend. Like, yeah, I was a pretty innocent 15-year-old, and to be going out with a 21-year-old is probably not something I would have probably let Jessie do. But yeah, I don't know. I guess because my parents knew him through karate, and he wasn't a stupid guy. He was pretty responsible, pretty mature. So yeah. It sounds weird, but yeah, just grew from there. How old were you when you married? We bought our first house when I just turned 20. Then I remember we'd been in the house for about 6 months, and we had my 21st birthday in the house. And then we got married the year later. So 1996 was when we got married, and we had been together for 6 or 7 years prior to that. And so, yeah, I was about 22 when I got married, 96. It was October 96. So, yeah, I would have just turned 22, and Michael was 28. The next question Michelle asked was, what do you typically eat for breakfast? Well, normally when I was doing keto, I'd pretty much skip breakfast. Like the first time, I would always have a coffee in the morning. I will eat around about, say, between 11:30 and 12:30 will be the first time I eat. And it's normally maybe like some bacon or some scrambled eggs or something like that. So I kind of skip breakfast normally. If I do have breakfast, it'll always be like bacon and eggs or something like that. We don't really eat cereal. So Julie Donovan, Julie has asked, if it's not too personal, what career plans do Jessie and Jamie have? Well, Jamie wants to become an electrician at this stage. Currently he's working at our little general store and saving up some money to buy a motorbike. Then he wants to get his driver's license. He's currently got his L's, so he needs to get his hours up, then go for his P plate so he can actually drive a car. Then once he gets that, he then wants to apply for an electrician apprenticeship and follow that electrician career path. Jessie, we were asking her that in the Q&A. I don't think at this stage she's not very career driven as such. Like she does a lot of work, around the house, like physical work, outside work. Doesn't do very much inside, but she does heaps outside. She does all the veggie gardens, takes care of Rolly, works with her dad on the cars and the motorbikes, and she very much needs to be outside and doing something physical. She's definitely not a inside at an office desk type of girl. She's not very career minded as such. Like she's not like, oh, I definitely need to do this. And I can understand how she is, because I was very much like that at her age as well. My goal when I was her age was that I just wanted to marry someone that would work and that I could afford and that we could afford for me to be a stay-at-home housewife. That was my dream. Like that is actually my dream job, to just be a stay-at-home housewife, to make, look after the house, prepare the meals, do the cleaning, obviously when the kids were little, be the mum, the stay-at-home mum, look after the kids, take them to school and back, and all of that. Like that was my dream. Like I didn't really have any career goals. I did really, really well at school, but I just never had any drive to do anything. Like not to say that I never had jobs. I always had a job since the day I was 14, but the jobs I had was just a means to earn money, to get things that we needed. Like my very first job was a checkout chick at Woolies after school, on the weekends, and I did that from the age of about 14 till I was about 21. And then I was going to uni for a little time. Thought I wanted to be a teacher, but I wasn't enjoying uni. And then around about 2021 was when me and Michael decided we wanted to buy a house. So I thought, well, if we're going to have a mortgage, I may as well get a job, because I'm not enjoying doing what I'm doing at uni. So then I fell into like an office kind of admin accounts type job, and those are the kind of jobs I've had ever since. I don't mind them, like that. They're the sort of jobs that I enjoy, because I like working in an office. I like working with figures and maths and things like that. But yeah, the job I've got now, like if I actually had to work, the job I'm doing now would be my dream job. Like it's actually, I couldn't really think of a better job I would rather do as a paid employee, you know what I mean? Apart from, say, doing YouTube for myself, yeah, if I had to actually be a paid employee, this job that I'm doing now is my ideal job. I absolutely love it. I love the people I'm working with. I love the company I work for. I love the fact that we can work from home. I love the fact we can go in the office if we want to. I love the actual, what I'm actually doing. It's just, yeah, it's just perfect. So yeah, I made it all about me, didn't I? But yeah, so as far as Jessie goes, she's very much the same. I think she just wants to get as much money as she can, doing as little as possible. That's basically her goal. So yeah, I don't think she's fussed as far as a career path. I'm thinking she would naturally gravitate towards something to do with animals because she's so good at it, and animals tend to have an affinity with her. Like, she's just very, very good with all kinds of animals. So I would be thinking it would be along those lines if she did find herself a job. Currently, she works with Michael. Michael's got his own essential property maintenance business where, you know, like he does like anything that needs doing around your house, basically, like lawns, anything you need fixing in your house, painting, like whatever. He does all of that sort of stuff. So, you know, pressure washing and all of that. So Jessie goes and helps him on some of the bigger jobs. And yeah, I mean, I don't think she loves it. Like, I'm sure she'd love to just lie on her bed all day instead. But yeah, I mean, that sort of work she enjoys rather than being stuck at a desk. So I guess that's answered that question. Also, Julie's asked, do you think they will both stay close to home, or will they be keen to venture out on their own? I think Jamie is probably more driven at this stage to go out on his own and do something. Like, I think he's just waiting for his license, like waiting to get his license, and then I think like he's gonna then start his life. But I mean, I want them to stay home as long as they can. Like I said to him, look, you know, if they can help it, try and stay home as long as they can, save as much money as they can, so that they can afford to buy something rather than renting something. Because yeah, just with the rental crisis that's going on at the moment, it's just going to be, I said it's just going to be so much harder if you move out of home and start renting. It's going to be so hard to get out of that cycle and try to buy your own home. So I've tried to encourage them to say, look, save your money, stay home as long as you can. I don't care if you're in your 30s and you're still at home. I'm happy to have you here. But yeah, just, you know, try and get themselves a little, even if it's just a little apartment, just some property that's their own, that they're working towards paying off, and that will be theirs at the end of it. So yeah, I think Jamie's probably more, I mean, you know, that's the impression I'm getting. He's more inclined to like, he knows sort of where he wants to go in life, whereas I think Jessie's more, I think she'll stay home longer, only because she's still not sure what she really wants to do and how she wants to get there. So yeah, I mean, I'm not fussed. I'll have them home for the rest of their lives. I don't want them to go anywhere. So next question, do you have any particular personal goals that you would like to achieve in 2023 that aren't diet, lifestyle, or home related? That one I'm actually going to leave until a little bit closer to Christmas, because I think I will actually answer that one when I do my setup for my planner for next year. I might include that in that video, because I'm going to do a whole video setting up my new Filofax with all my new pages in it, and give you a little flip through of how my planner is going to be looking for this year, for next year. And her last question was, do you have any hobbies outside of YouTube? Pretty much whatever I do on YouTube is my hobby. So I love creating things. I love doing, I can't say I love doing furniture makeovers and stuff like that. I absolutely hate the process of doing it, but I love I love the end result, basically. I love like, oh yeah, I've made that, and that's exactly how we wanted it to look. I like the end result of things. I don't necessarily enjoy the process of doing the furniture makeovers, but like I love art and drawing and making things with paper and journaling, all of those. So I mean, I haven't seen a lot of it on my channel because I haven't really had a lot of time to do any of it. But next year, there'll probably be a lot more of that on my channel, just sharing with you my hobbies that I've just never really had time to do, basically. I love creating like Halloween decor, and I love creating my own holiday decor, so like stuff for Christmas and Halloween. I haven't done any of that this year, only because I've been decluttering and getting rid of a lot of stuff. But next year, now that I know what I've got and what I want, that the stuff that I've got is what I want to keep, I'll probably be doing a few more holiday DIY projects and things like that. So yeah, I love creating things. That's my passion. Like, I do love creating things. I'm not very creative in my head, like coming up with my own ideas, but I love going through Pinterest and getting inspiration from different things and then creating my own. So yeah, you'll probably see more of my hobbies throughout next year, but that mostly they're like art involved. They're not usually physical involved. Oh, how would you guess? So yeah, it mostly involves like art and drawing and painting, and I'm not good at it, but I like it and I enjoy it, and I want to do more of it next year. So I think I'm going to finish the vlog off here. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Hopefully in a couple of days, we'll have some nice tie-dye shirts to show you. I hope they turned out. If not, well, I'll just wear them around the house anyway. I hope that Christmas one turns out. The one that I dyed, kind of the little dots. I wanted little dots of the red, dark red, and then I kind of like got a bit of inspiration from this one. So I wanted sort of the top like a lighter, pinkier red. Then I wanted the collar dark red, and then all the little bauble balls darker red as well. So I'll see how it turns out. I'm pretty excited to have a look, actually. So I might open them up tomorrow and give you a sneak peek. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope it's not too short, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.